Tara Sledjeski. She's here to talk NASCAR. Brad Keselowski is your 2012 Sprint Cup Championship. Tell us about it, Tara.
Hi guys, great to be here. Yep, Keselowski won the Cup after a season finale race at Homestead. He won by 39 points over Clint Bowyer, which was a bit surprising considering Jimmy Johnson was in second coming into the race. Johnson actually looked like he was going to steal the Cup from Keselowski for a while. Johnson started leading the race. He looked poised to win. He was going to make it on fuel mileage. Keselowski was having some problems there. And then Johnson had a slight hiccup on pit road. His crew forgot to screw in a lug nut properly. He had to pit again, and then after that, he had mechanical issues, and he was done for the day, and he handed the Cup over to Keselowski.
All right, Tara, now, a pretty surprising finish. You look at Homestead. Jeff Gordon, he finished number 1, and Clint Bowyer, who he's been feuding with, finished number 2, and there was no retribution in there from when Gordon wrecked Bowyer and pretty much took him out of contention. Do you think that feud could carry on the next season? Maybe we'll see retribution then?
If that race lasted 5 more laps, it would have gotten very interesting because either Gordon would have run out of fuel or Bowyer might have caught him. I think it might because Gordon felt that Bowyer was racing him hard all season, so it could carry over more with Gordon if he feels like Bowyer keeps racing him hard. So it should be interesting to see what's going to happen with that next season.
Now, we're talking about Keselowski, the champ here. He's got the Miller Lite on his chest. After the race, he's got this big, tall glass that's almost gone of Miller Lite. Does the interview with ESPN buzz. So what do you make of that?
I think it's great. I mean, if you look at Brad Keselowski, he's just such a great personality for the sport. You had Jimmy Johnson win 5 championships in a row. And Johnson is he's a company man. He's very proper, and now you have this new champion he's young. He's NASCAR's first champion that was born after 1980. And he's young, and he has the beer sponsor, and I think it's just going to be great for the sport having a champion like this he's not afraid to be himself. He's big into Twitter. He's a new generation for NASCAR.
And you talk about that younger generation. One of the drivers that certainly appeals to men, to women, is Danica Patrick. She finished 10th this year. Do you think she can improve upon that next year?
She finished 10th in the nationwide standings, which is like the minor league. Next year, she's going to be racing in the Sprint Cup, a full schedule. I think she could do all right. Towards the end of the season, when she was racing part-time in the Sprint Cup, she got her 2 best finishes, and I think it could be interesting because I think she's going to do better than some people, especially myself, thought she was going to do when she first started out.
And she's been voted as the most popular driver in Nationwide.
There's a reason, Nate. There's a reason why people like myself aren't concerned with whether she's in Nationwide, whether she could be racing.
DJ loves Danica Patrick. Danica, call DJ.
Well, she had an impressive season. Somebody that had a disappointing season, perhaps the most disappointing season, was Carl Edwards. He failed to make the chase or even win a race after being only 1 point short of the championship in 2011. Tara, do you think his season is the most disappointing?
It's either his or Kyle Busch's. I mean, Edwards definitely he finished in a virtual tie last year with Tony Stewart for the Cup, lost because Stewart had more wins, and this year to show up, not win, not make the chase, it was huge. He had to change his crew chief in the middle of the season. But then you have Kyle Busch, who he's used to winning so many races, and this year he won 1. He missed making the chase by so little to Jeff Gordon. And during the course of the last few races, he came so close to winning. He felt like he should have won so many races this year. He led the 2nd most laps in the series this year, but yet he only had the 1 win and he failed to make the chase. So that was very disappointing too.
All right, Tara, in a sport where Jimmy Johnson has repeated multiple times, I know it's early, but you think Brad Keselowski can do it again next year? What do you say the odds are?
I think Keselowski has great odds to repeat again next season. If you look at him and his crew chief, Paul Wolfe, and then you look at Jimmy Johnson and his crew chief, Chad Knaus, it's a very similar partnership. And Paul Wolfe is just as good as a crew chief as Chad Knaus was when him and Johnson were repeating 5 times in a row. Is Keselowski going to win 5 in a row? No, I don't think anyone's ever going to do that again. Could he win 2 in a row? I think he does have a great chance.
All right, well, in a sport that a lot of people don't know about, certainly we don't know that much about. Tara, you've done a great job all season. Thanks for joining us once again.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today.